I really am spending time feeling what is going on underneath. I don't work from the opposite side of the table. Why is that?
It's too much of a reach for you.
It's too much of a reach. My belly, my breast tissue might be resting on the patient if I am trying to do that, depending on the size of the patient, and my low back cannot take that. Okay. Now, you notice I work on a low table. If I was up higher, my wrists would not be in the right position. This is another reason why I work much lower than a lot of therapists, because I am short with short legs. And so if I work lower, my wrists are able to stay nice and in alignment. I do not shy away from this inner thigh. If you want to come see how I am working on the inner thigh, I would recommend it. I have noticed that some of you stay away from this area, but I've already established a safe barrier. My patient knows that I'm going to be working in this area because I have undraped it. Okay. Carla, how does this feel? Good. I mean, this is a lot of tissue you can get in with your petrissage. And I will sometimes even come all the way back up. And I can even switch and do a one-handed petrissage, always keeping this hand in contact. Do you notice how soft and contoured my hands are? I'm out of breath talking and doing it at the same time. My goodness. Okay. I need the Gatorade bottle. All right. And then notice I move a little bit no matter what. Sometimes I move a lot. I'm always moving. Cesar, this is for you.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is a deep draining effleurage. This is one of my transitions. What do we think the point is, you cannot answer, of this deep draining effleurage after I just did some nice fluffy petrissage?
To get the blood flow back to
To move fluid, yes. And Cesar and I were talking when he would work on athletes, there's a lot of fluid, a lot of lactic acid to move. This is a transition before I get into some frictions. It's very important for a stroke like this to work distal to proximal. This draining effleurage is pushing blood flow, lymphatic fluid. We're going with the directions of the valves and the veins. I am lightening up on the back of the knee. Where's that pressure, Carla? On the 1 to 10?
6.
6. So it's significant pressure.
Do you have a problem with, I feel like when I come up over the top, like when you're starting at the ankle and you're coming up over the top of the gastrocnemius, I feel like it, I mean, are you just continuous pressure? Just like going up the whole thing? Because I feel like it catches. Does that make sense?
I do, except for, I know what you're talking about, except for if there is a very rolly muscle that you start to roll off of, then I will lighten my pressure. Because I've noticed if I maintain harder pressure on a gastroc that you're a little unstable and you might slip off, and that feels really uncomfortable to the patient.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would lighten up.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what to do. Yes. Any questions about this area? So I'm going to move on to some frictions.
She took your clock away. She took your clock away. That's what she was looking for?
You guys are responsible for me. Oh no, I have a clock. I'm good. Okay.
Blame it on the instructor.
Nope, I got it. It's also good to watch me watch the clock. Okay. Are you stretching? I feel like you're giving me signals back there.
Stretching?
Okay.
She has you do.
I don't know what that means. Yeah. For those of you watching on YouTube, Zephyr is filming.
And stretching.
And stretching. All right, so for the frictions in this area, I adjust the tool that I use for the size of the area I want to do frictions on. I am a big fan of securing the body part, depending on the size of the body, if I can use one hand, I like to secure the body underneath, this leg underneath, okay? It prevents the roll. It pops the gastroc up into my hand, where I get a nice, soft, squishy gastroc to work on. You notice the knee is already flexed, okay? Here's something that you have not learned. All right, Carla, I'm gonna actually prop your leg on my leg. That is okay.
Yeah, sure.
This is not something that you've learned. I can only do this with one person today because I did not bring a change of clothing, right? What does this do?
Shortens everything in the back.
I'm gonna work way less hard now.
Cool.
Carla, where is that pressure?
You told me I couldn't do that.
Oh,
Not
let's
yet.
get into 7.
Getting to 7.
Yeah.
I'm gonna split my fingers on this gastroc. There's a bit of connective tissue, a bit of fascia right here. And it's not exactly comfortable to hang out in that groove. So I'm gonna split my fingers, use one thumb for each head of that gastroc. I can also really feel soleus on the side here to do a friction in there. I'm using 2 fingers for friction. This is not cross fiber friction, why not?
It's linear.
Linear
Linear
friction, very good. Okay. I can also get the heel of my hand in here. But look at how loose this gastroc is.
Will you do the soleus thing again so I can see I was on the wrong side?
So if you, remember from your knees, if you come to the gastroc, you drop off to the side, there is soleus. Carla, on a 1 to 10, where is that pressure?
6.
6? How about now?
Let's get into 7.
Okay. So you can follow that line, but I'm going to stop when I feel some resistance here. Take a big deep breath. You also see why for me it's more beneficial to work on a lower table. I can't do this. I don't have a hydraulic table in my practice. I can't do this type of positioning if I start out with too high of a table. Okay. I like to get my fist in here for the hamstrings before I go in and then fine comb is what I call it. Fine motor skill, fine tool friction. Depending on the size of the hamstrings, I can use 1 fist or 2. Carla, where is that pressure?
6.
Okay. You notice I asked about the pressure before I move. And how about now?
7.
And then I'm going to slowly move. I like to use 2 fists for Carla because if I use 1, I'm worried I'm going to fall off the edge of her hamstrings. And then notice my posture, and I breathe a lot. What bony landmark am I right up against right now? Yep. There's a lot of attachments, so I like to take my fist and move around those attachments. How does that feel?
Good.
Good.
Pisiform.
What's that?
The pisiform muscle.
Yeah. Piriformis?
Mm-hmm.
Piriformis is more over here, but it does attach. All right. I also have this IT band. Okay. What connects through the IT band to down here? What muscles up here? Remember that from kines?
Usually has the hamstrings.
The glutes. We have glute maximus right here that goes all the way down through the IT band down to this area. And you have a muscle in the front called the TFL. Even though I'm doing Swedish massage, I don't like to forget this IT band because this is the key in a lot of situations to back pain, low back pain. People go directly to the low back area. Often it's the glutes through this IT band. Okay. Now remember, the IT band is not contractile tissue, meaning it's not muscle. It's just fascia. So I said this word last week. What's the word when fascia goes from a solid to a liquid state?
Melts.
Solid to a gel state.
Melting.
Nope.
The melting, but there's a word.
Oh.
Said it last week.
Oh yeah. It starts with an F.
Dixotrophy.
Doesn't it start with an F?
Dixotrophy.
No.
So everybody say it.
Dixotrophy.
How do you say it? Same? Okay. All right. So again, I'm just doing Swedish, but I still have a therapeutic effect no matter what I do. So I'm going to spend some time making sure I warm up this IT band. Okay? Now, we have not learned this part yet. I'm putting my hand underneath Carla's quads, and I just rolled them out. We'll do that again. I rolled them out. The reason I did that was to give me better access to the IT band, because otherwise my wrist is going to be kinked up working almost underneath the body, and that's bad for my body. Okay? I'm going to provide resistance with this hand. Notice how nice and straight my wrist is.
Are you right on the IT band?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's your pressure level?
Carla, where's that pressure on a 1 to 10?
It feels like 5.
5. Okay, so if I want to get a little bit more, I'm going to move my body. And where am I at now?
6.
6. And up here? And that pressure up here, Carla.
Still 6.
All right. So what that does is it warms up that fascia in the IT band, which then is going to loosen up the glutes, and I haven't even worked on the glutes. Okay, so there's a couple frictions. Now to transition to close, I always do some more effleurage. Carla, do you like nerve strokes?
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what, I always stop and say goodbye to the body part. Big breath, Carla. Okay, I'm going to redrape this leg. To redrape, I just work backwards, keeping the sheet really close. If I have to reach under the sheet, I make sure that I'm doing it out here, so she does not feel my fingers underneath that sheet. Keeping this pulled taut. Any questions about the leg?